Hi there. Hi there, this is Choreography. I know you're here because you're curious about Korean history and why we ended up with a North and a South. I know you went to the other videos and you're like, oh my god, this is too boring. And you went to Wikipedia and you're like, oh my god, this has too many words. I'll make it simple and fast for you. You know that we had two big wars, right? In the second one, when unspeakable things were happening in Europe, some really bad things were happening in Korea too. Korea has always been this tiny little piece of land squished between China, Russia, and Japan, and has always struggled to keep away from the control of these countries. In 1905, after Japan fought Russia, they were successful to control the whole peninsula. The actual division comes after that. Japan officially occupied Korea from 1910 to 1945. World War II ended in 1945. To be more exact, Japan surrenders to the Allies on August 15 after atomic bombs fall in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and Korea was taken away from the reign. Though Korea had been preparing as a provisional government in different parts of the world, they did not become a government right away. As different people were scattered around the globe, their different ideologies were not collected fast and coherently enough to make a government. So, as always, the big folks come around and they're like, let's divide this country right here. You take the top, I'll take the bottom. But not forever, just until they're ready to be alone, okay? So, through General Order Number 1 proposed by General Douglas MacArthur, the Soviet Union ended up watching over North Korea while United States supervised the South. Then you might be thinking, why did not just one of the guys be like, oh, you sit back, relax, I'll just take care of this? Or even, why don't you leave this little country alone? Well, the answer to that is the Cold War. The Cold War is not an actual war where people bomb each other and physically fight with each other, but it's more an ideological fight. While countries teaming up with the Soviet Union believed in communism, the people that teamed up with the USA believed in capitalism. These two countries were trying to put more people on their team. If one of them ended up taking the whole Korea, one team would feel like they were losing. So they divided Korea among themselves. Naturally, the North adopted communist ideas while the South adopted capitalist ideas. Both the North and the South wanted to unify the nation under the ideology they were influenced by. But would you just go eat vanilla ice cream if you hated vanilla ice cream just because your friend told you so? No, right? The problem of unification was even raised in the United Nations only for the Soviet Union to reject a unified government. In their point of view, if Korea united, it meant that it had to choose between Team Soviet Union or Team USA. In the end, unification was not made possible. South Korea elected Lee Seung-man as their president under US supervision, and the Soviet Union appointed Kim Il-sung as the North Korean leader. They were both not taking complete control over, but they were just helping them set their own governments. This led to the Korean War from 1950 to 1953. North Korea invaded South Korea with the approval of the Soviet Union. It was a surprise attack, and South Korea was about to meet its end. But the US came to the rescue along with more than 10 countries that provided military aid. North and South Korea went back and forth with the territory. And after 2 long years, the North and the South did not end the war, but agreed to an armistice, where the 38th parallel was a temporary border in the past, became a hard border dividing the two countries until current time. So why is this important, you ask? You know, this guy and this guy, right? They have been meeting a lot and talking to each other, and this guy, and along with other people around the world, have been really excited about it. This video can give you an explanation of why all these people are excited. The history of division explains why North Korea is so close, why South Korea is so close with the US, and why everybody is excited for all these meetings. Remember our first video? The history of division is the first context to many of the events and relationships that are happening right now. Are we close to being one Korea? Are the North and the US getting along? Are we going to war? Stay tuned and figure it out. Make sure to comment for any questions you have. This is Sese Kim, and we are Choreography.